Bam, baby! You guys ready for another tutorial? So on this tutorial I'm going to teach you more on animation and how to specifically create smooth animation, because most of you are asking me, how do you get smooth animation on the animation videos that you have on YouTube? How do you do that? How do you put your poses in there? What's a good technique? What's a method for that? How do you adjust your timing? So that's what I'm going to teach you. A little bit of poses and timing and how I adjust it. So first thing that I did here, this scene is already set up and I already have keyframes on this guy on all the controllers. So let me go ahead and show you the file here. So maybe from the side view. So you can see down here on my timeline that I have keyframes. So I have a keyframe on all the controllers that make up the lamp. So if you look here, the thing that's animated is this little lamp. Okay, it's like Luxor lamp from Pixar, but it's a little baby one. And he hops in here and he jumps on top of the ball and then he jumps off. But I haven't finished this. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna go ahead and finish this using poses and then later adjust the timing for the whole animation. So what I did first before I started animating is first, I grabbed this global control. So if I go to my perspective view, where is my perspective? Jeez. Okay. So if I go here, let me show the curves. See this global control here? This like eye drop? This is when I modeled everything, I just placed them up here. So that's the first thing that I did. Place your character where he needs to be. And then I went ahead and I modeled this simple environment. I think I have a picture back here. And it's already textured. Oh, it's the wrong image. Let me get rid of that. So I'm not going to teach you how to texture. I have a video that teaches you that. It's very simple. And so what I went ahead here and did was you go to this script editor. If I open that, you click on this one. It says clear all. So first make sure everything is clear and make sure it's under mail script. And like I showed you in Maya Basics, I selected all the controllers that I'm going to be using to animate this lamp. So for this one, it's all of those right there. So once you have everything selected, I'm going to come in here to my script editor, and you see up here it shows you what you selected in the script. So once you have this highlighted, you middle mouse, click and drag onto your shelf. And then you're going to make that into a mail script button. So just hit mail. And then now if you see here, we have this button. So what that's going to do is, watch, if I clear this again and I deselect all the controllers here, so just click somewhere else. I selected the desk, so that's why that appeared. So let me clear that again. Now check this out. If I hit this button here that I created, it's going to reselect all my controllers all at once by just clicking this button. So there, I selected the button and you can see it selected all my rig controllers here. So this is very useful, and that's usually how I set up my animation stuff. Actually, before I start animating, this is the first thing I do. So it's a good habit to always go ahead and create a button for your controllers. That way you don't have to, select this, control shift, select that, select that. It's just a pain, so just get used to making a button here. And then what I did is, after frame 1, if I use the greater than, less than keys, or which is the comma and period, you can actually jump between keyframes. So you can see here I set about, I don't know, about like 20 keys or so. So I'm using the right arrow or the period key. So I'm jumping forward and I'm looking through my poses here. So what I did here to create these poses is I start on frame 0. I like to create my poses every, depending on what he's doing, every 10 frames, sometimes faster. Say he's running or something like that, I'll do every 5 frames, or maybe even every 3 frames, depending on what the action is. So this lamp is, he's not doing that much. The poses are kind of easy, so I went ahead and I did all my poses on keys of tens. So every 10 frames, there's a pose. So pose number 1, standard pose on the lamp here. And then I went to frame 10, and then I moved him. So I posed him like that, and then I selected everything, and then I hit S on the keyboard just to set a key on all the controllers. And then I went to frame 20, so move forward, frame 20. I moved him back because he's getting ready to jump onto the ball. He's gonna make a little hop and then he's gonna jump on the ball. So he's doing a little anticipation. And then I move forward frame 30 and I move them further back because I want this to take a while. He's gonna hit 2 poses. So from frame 20 and then 30, he's still moving back. And then at frame 40, he's halfway between, going back and halfway between going forward. So that's kind of like my breakdown. And then at frame 50, he's jumping in air. So you can see if I go to frame 30, go back, that's the anticipation, the breakdown, and the extreme. Right? And then what I did was, sorry, go to frame 60, move forward, and now he's up in the air taking that first little hop. And then again move forward, frame 70, he's about to land. So this is the extreme, or right before he's about to land. And then at frame 80, he hits the ground. So there you see him squashing. So this is kind of like one of the principles, right? Squash and stretch, but I'm doing it with poses. So here he's squashing, he's stretching, a little bit of a stretch, still stretching, and then squashing, and then at frame 90 he's stretching. So it's sort of like this squash and stretch effect. And then frame 100, again he's up in the air stretching. Frame 110, he's still up in the air, but now he's sort of squishing up on top. And then frame 120, he's stretching down. So these are just poses. So what I do here is, you grab these controllers and you move them around. And then you grab the bottom and then you just place it wherever you want it. And then I moved them to frame 130. And then I squashed the ball by just selecting the ball and then moving the pivot point by hitting insert. You can move the pivot point, and I moved it to the bottom of the ball. And then I just rescaled in the Y. And then I set a key. So that's how I got animation on the ball. Again, going back to the lamp. Frame 140, stretch. Frame 150, he's up in the air. Frame 160, he's at the highest point of the jump. And then at frame 170, I'm going to create another pose. Now the thing with this is I'm probably, there is no right or wrong way, or there is no how do you know how many poses you have to create. It's just you have to keep adding as many poses until you get good timing. So the thing with this is, if I were to hit play right now, it's gonna be pretty slow. But you can see that I have all my poses pretty much they're working well with the action. So it doesn't look like it's missing something. It doesn't look funny or funky when I hit play. So if something looked very linear or looked wrong, then I would know I need to create more poses. So with this in mind, let's go ahead. I'm gonna go to the side view. This side view is actually going the other way. It's moving this way. But it's okay, maybe I can still use this view. So let me look at the ground plane. The ground plane is this line here. Alright, and I'm gonna show you how I animate. Just hit that again. Look at my poses. So I just sort of scrub through this so I can see the arc. And then frame 170, watch this. Just select your whole character, hit S to set a keyframe. Now 160 and 170 are exactly the same on the lamp, because he wasn't moving, so I just set a key up there. So I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna pose him. Let me rotate this. Like he's starting to come down here. Rotate this. Grab this one. Move it up. It's kind of stretching here. So now if I go back. Oh, I don't have auto key set. Darn it! Oh! So actually when I moved them it didn't record it because I didn't have auto key on. So again, you guys get to see my mistakes, which is good. And everybody makes mistakes. Jesus. So I'm gonna do this quick. Okay, there. So you can see 160 and then 170, he's a little stretched because he's about to come down. So we need to move him now. So I'm gonna select that and this bottom one, and I'm gonna move him somewhere down here, like he's coming down. He's about to hit the ground maybe. So let's take a look at this. So again, using your greater than and less than keys, you can jump between keys. So that's how I'm snapping between 160 and 170. So I can go back and look at the arc, see how this is moving. You can go back to your camera view. Okay, that's working pretty good. And then, you know, maybe I can move him all the way down right before he hits the ground, like there, something like that. Maybe a little bit less. Actually, the ground is this line down here. Okay, so he's coming down now. And then at frame 180, you know, I'm just doing poses right now. I'm not worrying about timing, because in reality, you know, he's not going to be moving this slow. So somewhere here, let me grab this controller. I already know the X rotates that, so I need to zero this out because now he's going to be flat on the ground. And I need to move this further down. So I'm going to put this 0 like on translate Y, like it hit the ground. So translate 0 and then move this down. Something like that, and move this down. Rotate this forward because he's hitting on the ground. Rotate his neck. And make his head look a little bit up. So something like that. And then hit all the controllers again and hit S just to make sure that I set a keyframe on that pose. And then you can always adjust it here. So go back to this and then take a look at it. So it looks like he's moving backwards here from 170 to 180. Like there's a land, doesn't look right. So I probably need to grab this controller and this one and move him forward a little bit so that he can hit. Something like that. Boom. Boom. Maybe move this further back. Make sure the lamp here doesn't go through this section here. Move this a little bit further back, like he's just landing. And then let's go ahead and move forward. Frame 190. Let's sort of give him a slide, like he's sliding when he hit the ground. And then more of this squash. So he just hit the ground, he has that momentum, and then he's really like squashing down right here. So let's rotate this down and rotate his head down. This is like his neck. So he's like boom, hit the ground, boom. Now we still don't know because of the timing, so I can always adjust the poses a little later on. So I hit play on this. So right now it's moving really slow because our timing has not been adjusted, but you can see that our poses are working, you know, fairly okay-ish. Now we won't really know until we adjust, like I said, the timing, and then after that we can go back and adjust and polish the poses so that it works well. So again, select all your controllers, frame 200, hit S to set a keyframe, and let's move him up. Now he's starting to become more normal now. So he's like, alright, I'm done. I hit the ground, now I'm standing up here. And that was awesome. I just jumped over a ball. Well, not over, just trampolined off of a ball. So, you know, there he goes. Boom. Boom. And then maybe 120. You know, he doesn't just come up and stop. You know, he comes up, and because, you know, he has to ease into a stop. You want to keep him moving. He's still alive here. So let's move this up a little bit, and again let's move this up some more and back, and then maybe, you know, push the neck up and then the head slightly down. So if I go to back to 200 and then up, so you can see him, he hits the ground and he slowly comes up. So something like that. Let's hit play. And I can always, you know, keep the bottom moving. He still has momentum. So if I go to frame 210, he's going to move back because I haven't moved this forward. So again, using the left and right greater than symbols, you can adjust for this. Move this guy back. There. Now let's take a look at that. And I think that's good enough for this tutorial. I'm not going to add more animation. I just want to show you how I add my poses. Now let's go ahead and adjust the timing.